concerning Mars and artifacts and ruins. U.S. General blows the whistle on what was really found on Mars. There are structures on the surface of Mars. I will tell you for the record that there are structures underneath the surface of Mars that cannot be seen by Voyager cameras that went by in 1976. Let's remember that Mars also has a tower on its moon Phobos. Now, the last 5 years have been revolutionary period for humanity, and like never before, highly ranking government officials and military personnel and even astronauts decided it's time to speak out about UFOs and alien life. We're talking about extraterrestrials, space aliens. One of the most influential people in the United States disclosure movement was John Podesta, chief of staff for Bill Clinton and counselor to Barack Obama, chairman of the 2016 Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. And he stated, the time to pull the curtain back on this subject is long overdue. We have statements from the most credible sources, those in a position to know about fascinating phenomena, the nature of which is yet to be determined. Mankind has become witness to one of the largest disclosure movements in the history of our planet, and we have become aware that the UFO phenomenon is not an isolated event. There is more information on the matter than we have been led to believe. And all this also reminds us, if you see the video before this one concerning, the videos just I posted today concerning the FBI declassified documents about beings from interdimensional areas, and they look human, but they're bigger, taller than us. This all reminds us of the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth the Atlantean technology that they had. I'm just flabbergasted. I have a playlist of the Emerald Tablets. You should listen to them because he describes their very advanced technology that they had here on planet Earth, and that they even had interstellar travel and interdimensional travel, which they were not allowed to use, and they did. It was a commandment given to them by the divine God, and they were not allowed to use it, but they did. So Thoth the Atlantean said it was a matter of time before divine intervention put an end to Atlantis. And he claims that a lot of Atlanteans went to other areas of the world to set up new cities, and the first things they did was build pyramid structures. Now, going back to this, one of the most important influential quotes about alien life and the UFO phenomenon comes from Dr. Brian O'Leary, former NASA astronaut and Princeton physics professor. He stated, there is abundant evidence that we are being contacted, that civilizations have been contacting us for a very long time. Now we have, of course, the ancient Greek mythology stating that the gods of Olympus were extraterrestrial Atlanteans. We have the Tully Papyrus, the witness of the Pharaoh of Egypt, saying that the overlords of Egypt had landed on the Giza Plateau. Now, the UFO phenomenon, though, is not an isolated event only seen on planet Earth, while there are millions of people around the globe who claim to have seen objects in the sky that defy explanation. Astronauts in space have also witnessed incredible things in the last decades. From the Apollo mission to the International Space Station, there is enough footage to make a strong argument when it comes to otherworldly visitations. So simply put, there are things that even science cannot explain. Whether we're talking about Earth, the Moon, or Mars, the UFO phenomenon is everywhere. And one of the most interesting statements made recently comes from General Stubblebine. Bert Newton Stubblebine III is a retired United States Army Major General whose active duty career spanned 32 years. General Stubblebine is considered one of America's most distinguished soldiers and was chief of U.S. Army Intelligence. One of the most fascinating statements about Mars was made by General Stubblebine. He said this, there are structures on the surface of the moon. I will tell you for the record that there are structures underneath the surface of Mars. Sorry, I said the moon is Mars. There are structures on the surface of Mars. I will tell you for the record, there are structures underneath the surface of Mars that cannot be seen by the Voyager cameras that went by in 1976. I will also tell you that there are machines on the surface of Mars And there are machines under the surface of Mars that you can look at, you can find out in detail, you can see what they are, where they are, who they are, and a lot of details about them. End quote. However, his statements are not empty ones. In the last couple of years, NASA's rovers exploring the red planet photographed a huge amount of unexplained structures on the red planet. And while all of the mystery structures are explained as pareidolia, that are natural formations that look like something else, millions of people around the globe firmly believe there are things on Mars which are being kept away from society, just as there are structures on the surface of the moon which NASA tried to keep from society. And we have some images here, fascinating images found from the surface of Mars. Whether they be things like this, what looks on Mars to be like what they had on Japan, structures like this in the Hellas Basin, looks like buildings of a city, and some of them are small, some of them are large, others are blocks of buildings. And of course, one of the pyramids coming up. Most of us are familiar with the face on Mars, but this one here defies explanation. This is definitely a pyramid. And you can see even the coloration is different from the surrounding dust on there. So all these are NASA images. And this is Unbended Reality via Ancient Code. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.